Joan and I were asked to go down to Plains. Governor Carter and I walked around town, doesn't take long, and we spent a lot of time talking about issues. I raised my questions, he raised his questions. We talked about the vice presidency.
And I was very, very impressed by the governor's interest and understanding about the fullest possible effective use of the vice presidency.
And then it was over. We waited. That must have been from maybe 3 weeks between that conversation and the time at the National Convention in New York, where Governor Carter, soon to be the nominee, called and asked me if I would run with him. I said, absolutely, we'd love to do it. And then within a couple hours, I was in front of the cameras and for the first time, I think, being seen by a lot of Americans. And that night, I had to give my acceptance address.
I am proud to accept your nomination as your candidate for Vice President of the United States.
I was going to run, of all things, against Ronald Reagan in 1984. There were no wars. The economy was in good shape. Everybody liked Reagan.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience.
I got into a sort of a rut there, where I was inviting people for the interviews, for the public news conferences, and I'm afraid I embarrassed some of them, and I apologize to them. I think since then, the process of the same idea of vetting and talking and so on is demanded. You have to do that, but it's better to keep it more discreet, I think. I think if I just ran a campaign with two old goats, again, that we wouldn't have made any impression at all. We were behind by 20 points or something just before the convention. So I had to reshuffle the deck. I had to do something dramatic that engaged the American people in something bold and different. So I picked Geraldine Ferraro, and I think it was the right choice.
That I will ask the Democratic Convention to nominate Geraldine Ferraro of New York to run with me for the White House.
It was a very exciting thing to have a woman candidate, but you had to be careful. Don't you patronize me, she said one time. Oh, this was wonderful.
Let me just say, first of all, that I almost resent Vice President Bush, your patronizing attitude that you have to teach me about foreign policy.
But she's a good person. I liked her, stayed in touch with her, and there were no personal feelings in my race against Geraldine.
80 was rough because we had really tried. I think we were ready. We'd had a lot of bad luck. I think if we'd been given another 4 years, we could have really shown a lot of good things. That hurt me a lot because a missed opportunity that the president and I had. But of course, the running, when you're the nominee, you don't share the risk that much. And when you lose, especially like I do, it is painful.